I first started inside of content creation, the three main problems that I struggled with: three, productivity, organizing my content, and starting. See, it was because of these three main problems that I had that I never actually moved forward inside of content creation. And because of that, I would always look at other people and think, how are they progressing faster than me? We all have the same 24 hours. It never really made any sense to me why other people were able to progress quicker than me, and I was just kind of stuck in this exact same position that I was always in. I never really knew how to get out. Now, that was until I found this book called Actionable Gamification by Yu Kai Chou. This book shares this framework called Octalysis, and it's a framework that basically shares an 8-part motivational system that shares why you are so motivated to play video games. And these 8 motivators are epic meaning and calling, development and accomplishment, creativity and the empowerment to feedback, personalization and ownership, social ability and relatedness, scarcity and impatience, unpredictability and curiosity, and the fear of pain and loss of avoidance. Now, using these 8 motivators, I have essentially built this RPG Notion system to turn content creation into a video game. So let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so when you first come onto the dashboard, this is where everything is basically going to be taking place, right? Now, you will see a bunch of little sections here that you can use to organize all of your content. The first one that you're going to see is one-time tasks. These are obviously the tasks you're going to be doing one time, right? So you have inbox of tasks that you are going to do, but you're not actually going to do yet. You have now doing. These are tasks that you're currently working on, like right now. This is complete. These are obviously the tasks you've already completed. And then there's maybe. These are basically the tasks that you are going to get to maybe one day, but you're not going to get to them just yet, right? So that's basically one-time tasks in terms of like the organization of it. Inside of the actual task itself, if you click on one of these little templates right here, you can actually preset a deadline for when you would like to get this task done, right? So just for random example, today is August 21st, and so if I wanted to get this task done for some reason on the 23rd, then I click out of it. Now the task will say I have 2 days remaining, and it will automatically count down for me, so that way it holds me accountable for how much time I actually have left to complete this task, right? So that's just a cool little feature to kind of hold yourself accountable. And also, another really great feature of this is that if you go into Now Doing, and then you go into Content Stage, right here, you will have Idea, Research, Scripting, Filming, Editing, Posting, the Analytics, and then Complete, right? With all of these different sections, you can essentially run an idea, a content idea you have through the entire spectrum of the content process. So that way you can actually stay organized, and so you're not just making a post and then you don't actually know what the next step is. This ensures that no matter what stage you are on, you always know what you have to do for a specific content idea, right? And so that's basically the overall system for that. And also, you will notice a few different button automations on the side. You have Now Doing, Maybe, Inbox, and Complete. If you click one of these, it will automatically do one of the settings. Inbox will put this back inside of the inbox. Now Doing will put it inside of the Now Doing category. Complete will put it inside of the Complete category. And Maybe will put it inside of the Maybe category. Alright, so next up is daily tasks. These are basically daily tasks that you are actually going to be doing every single day, in comparison to the opposite, which is the one-time task that you're only going to be doing one time, right? So, with daily tasks, it basically works on a habit-forming system, right? And so, every single time that you complete on these daily tasks, the system will automatically add an additional win to that task. And so that the more times you win, you build inside of your brain a habit, so that way that this task becomes something that you can just do autonomously without even having to think about it, right? And every single time that you can complete, the status will automatically change to complete, so that way it will tell you, okay, you've completed this for the day, obviously, right? And if you click failed, which I'm now going to do just as an example right here, the task will automatically mark as failed, and you will get a notification up here letting you know that you have failed that task for the day, right? And also, another really cool feature of this, as you can obviously tell, is that there's a little progress bar right here that will tell you how many tasks you've actually completed out of that day. It just kind of gives you something to reflect on, so that way you can, like, kind of know and visualize a little bit more on why you failed and what you can try to do tomorrow to do better, so that way you don't fail again, right? It's just a cool little system, just to once again hold yourself accountable and reflect a little bit on why you failed that day. Alright, so right here you will see badges. Now, badges are basically little mini milestones that you try to achieve inside of your journey, right? Like, for example, I'm trying to achieve 350 X-posts right now, right? That's my current little milestone I'm trying to hit. Because the problem with most people when they set goals is that they set a goal, but then they don't actually have an input object goal, right? And input goals are a lot better to focus on than output goals. Like, here's an example. If I told you to make $100,000 in 6 months, right? You can't just $100,000. Like, it's not an input that you can actualize. It's a thing you want to achieve, but you can't actually do anything about it. And so the badges are basically input goals. They're little inputs that you want to hit along the way to kind of keep you moving forward towards the bigger goal, right? So that's what badges are basically for and what badges were designed to do. And each badge that you also complete, you will gain bonus experience points for each one of the badges that you achieve. Alright, so next up is projects. Projects are basically in between goals that you can set, right? So these are like little milestones similar to the badges that you can also create to like push yourself. So overall, they're basically just badges with a deadline. So for example, right, I have this current project that I want to called Short Form Wizards. It's basically where I want to make 100 short form posts in the month of August and in the month of September. Alright, so then of course right here you obviously have goals. These are basically the actual achievement that you want to achieve for yourself, right? So right here I have short form killers, and I'm probably going to elongate my own deadline a little bit, but right now I have 68 days to master short form video content creation, right? That's basically my current objective, is to understand and master short forms. I have like multiple different brands I'm trying to make content on, and so I can understand how short form content creation works for my business. Right here, I have something called the Content Logger. This is basically a system that you can use to actually track the total amount of content and other reps that you've done throughout the days, weeks, months, and even years, right? It's a very, very useful system, and it also works very, very well in conjunction with the badges, because a really cool thing you can do is if you go click on the actual log itself, and then you click calculate, and then you click more options, you click sum, it will automatically calculate the total amount of pages that you have created and the values that are inside of those pages, right? And so this number, if there was like 3 days here, and each of those days I did 50 replies, then my total will be 150 replies, right? So it's just a great system to work in conjunction with the badges, so that way you know how much volume you're actually putting out every single day, week, month, and year, right? Okay, so this is called the LifeSpace Dashboard. This is basically like a script writing database that will allow you to write various different scripts. You can write scripts for X, you can write short form scripts, and you can write long form scripts. It's very simple. If you want to use that, all you have to do is just click down the buttons right here, long form script, new X post, and short form script, and you can instantly generate a brand new script for different pieces. And another really, really cool thing is that each of these little script templates have little like automatic fill-ins, so you can like put in title bullets, bonus ideas, thumbnail ideas, sponsors and affiliates, and just little other tidbits of information, so that way you kind of understand what you're actually doing and what the post's purpose is, right, before you actually make it, so you're a little bit more prepared, right? Okay, that's basically how the LifeSpace works. Okay, so last but not least, in terms of like the overall productivity systems of Content Core, there are content collections. Content collections. So, what are content collections? Content collections is basically the system I built where you collect various different types of videos, X tweets, and all this type of content from other people, so that way you can study it and use it for your own, right? And so I'll give you an example of how I've been using this, right? If I click inside of the entertainment niche, I have basically collected a bunch of other content from other creators that I believe are similar to me inside of my niche, and then I basically steal their content, embed it inside of these pages, and then I kind of study it and I think, okay, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. I'm going to try to apply that to my own content so that way I can go viral faster and I can understand what I'm doing faster. Because what a lot of people don't understand is that your competition has probably already done what you're trying to achieve, right? And so it's not like a video game where you have to like do manual labor to then eventually catch up to them. All you literally have to do is just figure out what they did and then try to use that formatting inside of your own work, inside of your own content, your products, whatever, right? Okay, so the very second to last part of this system is the lag machine. So let me go inside of there. Now, the lag machine is basically a system that delinks relations from the content core to reduce the lag. So let me show you how this works. The first thing you're going to do is plug in your current experience. I have 36,250, so I'm going to plug that in right here, and then I'm going to click submit. And then you're going to wait just a little bit for a page to come down here. So let's just wait for a little bit right there. And then what's going to now happen is you're going to click reduce lag. This is now going to disconnect the content core from the other pages. So I'm going to click reduce lag. This goes to 0. And then I click claim rewards right here, which is going to give me back that 36,250 experience that I had, like so. Alright, so the very last part of this is the settings. So I'm going to go inside of the settings page right now, and this is basically just something that you can use to customize your experience to your liking, right? And also set it up and stuff like that. So you have customize the content core. So a really cool thing inside of Notion is that you're able to use animated GIFs, which basically give the template a little bit of movement and stuff like that. And so that's what I'd recommend if you're using this template, is replace the current image with an animated GIF. I'm going to do that right now just for some random example. So I'm going to go to choose file. I'm going to go inside of my images right here, and I have a bunch of little GIFs that I already have. I'm going to use the spinning world GIF that I have right here. And what that's going to do is it's going to add a GIF animation to this, which kind of gives the template a little bit of movement, and I think makes it look much cooler and much more appealing to look at and stuff. The second part is the players of the system. This is just adding the total amount of people that are actually part of this template, just so that way you know who's working on what. The next part of the system is setting up your experience point rank based on the current amount of experience points you've collected up until this point. I recommend if you're starting with this system, start at level 1. And also, if you're ever worried about running out of levels, don't worry. 1, it's going to take you forever to reach level 100. Trust me, I've already tried. It's going to take a very, very, very long time. And 2, even if you somehow manage to make it the True Content Grandmaster level 10, even if you somehow manage to do that, you can literally continuously add on more experience points to the thing, so that way you basically never can stop grinding, right? So, it's basically unlimited, but even if you did hit the limit, you could just add even more, so you can always raise the challenge on yourself, right? This is creating daily tasks. All you have to do right here is just click this button right here, and then it will automatically create a brand new daily task. Right here is content badges. All you gotta do is just click this button right here, and then it will add a brand new badge you can add to your different sections and stuff like that you want to do. So there you go. That's basically how the settings works. Alright, and so that's basically the entirety of Content Core. If you're interested in checking this out, you know, feel free to go into the description and check it out on my Gumroad. If you're not interested in that, I also still recommend joining my free Discord server. You can meet me, you can meet my buddies. We talk about content creation, fitness, spirituality, and a bunch of other different topics. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, where you can develop with other people and grow alongside me, then feel free to join that. But that's all I got, so God bless.